There are way too many celebrities that defy their age. And by too many, I mean nearly all of them. You may have heard the saying, you're not ugly, you're just poor. And yes, celebrities have money and they could definitely afford the best treatments, best trainers, best plans. Stress also accelerates aging, and having a secure financial status will definitely alleviate stress. But there are still many common denominators that I want to go over, along with what you can learn and apply to your own life to look younger, feel better, and hopefully live longer. We have female celebrities who've aged backwards, like the Kardashians, Cindy Crawford, Angelina Jolie, Halle Berry, and plenty more. We'll get into the ladies, but what about the men? How did Tom Brady retain such a youthful look? How do actors like Christian Bale build a ton of mass for their roles? Why do Jamie Foxx, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Matthew McConaughey all look the same or even better than they did a decade ago? So for the men, Christian Bale, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, and even Zac Efron have had crazy transformations where they put on 20 to 40 pounds in less than a year for some roles that they do. So how do they do it? For many of them, it is performance-enhancing drugs. I know this seems like such a cop-out answer, but the truth is that there are a lot of steroids in Hollywood. Before I discuss what they are using, I'll back it up with some science. So for the average beginner trainee, if they are doing everything right, they can put on maybe 20 to 25 pounds of muscle in their first year of training. And that inevitably will come with a bit of fat too. The second year, it'll be half of that, so maybe 10 to 12 pounds of muscle. The third year, even half of that, and so on and so forth. We can assume these celebrities are doing everything right with their training and diet, their whole entire regimen. It is their job, after all, to look good and maintain a certain image. But most of the time, these people are not beginners. They've been training for many years to play the roles that they do, and not only that, they come into the movies full, lean, dry, vascular. All your favorite adjectives could go here. So what are they using exactly? Let's start with a basic: testosterone. So in a natural male, testosterone peaks and dips based on your environment. If you sleep like shit one night, drink a bunch of alcohol, have a few stressful weeks, your testosterone will be lower. So testosterone typically peaks in the morning and then decreases as the day goes on. So testosterone replacement therapy, or even like a full blast, aka using dosages higher than the body would produce naturally, will be common with certain acting roles. Supplementing with exogenous testosterone keeps levels stable at a very high level, no matter what is going on in your environment. So many people believe testosterone to be a safer compound to use, given that it is a natural hormone in the body and must be prescribed by a doctor, and celebrities do have access to the best ones. And so the results will show. Celebrities, or really anyone using this, can gain 2 to 3 times as much muscle as a natural trainee in the same amount of time. If their career depends on it, I can see why they do it. So typical doses for testosterone replacement could range anywhere from 75 milligrams to 200 milligrams per week, but it's not unlikely that some actors are using more. And I know bodybuilders can use anywhere from 200 to 2,000 milligrams per week to pack on size and strength. So of course, this does come with plenty of risks. Infertility is possible, along with gynecomastia, acne, growth of the prostate, high blood pressure, a worsening lipid profile, blood clots. There's a lot of things that can go on. And let's also not forget the permanent shutdown of your body's natural testosterone production. So with this all, having a doctor's supervision is key. And like I mentioned, they have access to the best ones. So next, but testosterone is mostly for building muscle, losing fat, and maintaining a youthful energy. So these factors all worsen since testosterone decreases with age. But what are they using to look young? Can you guess it? It is growth hormone. This one is a little complicated because growth hormone might make someone look younger, but it will age you faster in the long run. So in biology, there's a growing notion of a trade-off between growth and longevity. So essentially, the same biological pathways responsible for growth also contribute to the breakdown and onset of chronic ailments associated with aging. So what fuels an organism's growth also fuels its aging process. So this can potentially lead to conditions like cancer over time, things like that you don't want. So you want to balance growth and not having growth. So in the animal kingdom, larger organisms tend to have shorter lifespans. Simple as that. You may have heard that fasting boosts growth hormone, but it's good for longevity at the same time. So how does this work? Fasting, while temporarily boosting growth hormone, simultaneously suppresses mTOR and insulin signaling, which are chemical pathways in the body that are crucial for growth. So you get some growth hormone, but some of the growth pathways are down, essentially. Additionally, fasting promotes autophagy, the body's process of recycling aging cells and replacing them with healthier ones. So these longevity benefits are likely from fasting's anti-growth effects on the body. So some processes internally may not be aging well. However, growth signaling also plays a role in essential processes like wound healing, muscle building, recovery from exercise. So of course, substances like human growth hormone, which stimulate growth, can enhance those functions. Although taking synthetic growth hormone can make older individuals feel revitalized and even superhuman, it does come with increased risk of cancer, diabetes, things like that. But seeing improved muscle growth, increased fat loss, improved hair growth, and smoother skin are typical in those using these hormones. So for a young man still growing, natural growth hormone production will be around 1 to 2 IUs per day. For an older man or woman, it'll probably be closer to 0.2 IUs per day. And typical longevity doses are around 1.5 to 3 IUs per day, but it's not uncommon to see bodybuilders using upwards of like 10 to 15 IUs per day. That's not good. Definitely don't do that. Honestly, don't use it at all. It is very risky, but people do use it, so that's why I'm mentioning it. And many peptides are similar to these too. So peptides are combinations of specific amino acids that will exert an effect on the body when they're administered. So among some of the common peptides favored by celebrities, bodybuilders, longevity enthusiasts are the growth hormone releasing peptides. So some of them are like hexarelin, I know is one of them. Ipamorelin, I know is another one. I think there's one called sermorelin. These basically stimulate the body's natural production of growth hormone. So celebrities do get the same effects of supplementing exogenous growth hormone, but by stimulating their own production, if that makes sense. But as with anything that promotes growth, there's an increased risk of cancer. Growth, you don't want to grow the wrong cells. You want to grow the right cells. And while muscles may still grow, so will everything else. Same with human growth hormone, including your organs. So these may contribute to a more healthy on the outside type look, less healthy on the inside. So definitely a trade-off there. There are some other common peptides that do not act on growth hormone, of which are BPC 157 and TB 500, which are healing peptides known for speeding up injury recovery, increasing hair growth. These have relatively safer profiles, still a bit of a risk of cancer, but they can really accelerate how fast someone heals after surgery, muscle sprains, and many more. So a lot of athletes that do get injured and seem to bounce back in a month, maybe using these, be a little suspicious. So the last compound that is common is a drug that has been tossed around the media a lot in the last couple of years, and it is called semaglutide. That is the compound name. The brand names are Ozempic, Wegovy. I'm sure you've heard of these. Elon Musk has talked about it. Kim Kardashian is someone who I know talked about it as well, along with plenty others. There's probably someone that you know personally that has not mentioned it, that's lost a lot of weight, that is using it, I promise. These drugs are the GLP-1 agonists, and there are some other similar ones like tirzepatide or Mounjaro is the brand name. And these were initially diabetes medications, still used for diabetes, but now they have become the skinny drug because they crush your appetite by delaying gastric emptying and some other pathways too. So these allow celebrities to lose weight and or maintain a skinnier figure. And like I said, more people are on this than you'd think. But of course there are risks: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, very common. A history of thyroid cancer in the family is also generally a no-go for this. Alcohol consumption is also a no-go because of the risk of pancreatitis. So when this first came out, costs were very crazy, literally like over $1,000 a month for this medication. And now there are some more affordable clinics offering it these days. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you want me to refer you to one of those. It's not mine, just one that I think works. So we talked about the drugs, let's talk more about cosmetic surgeries. So we've talked about the common injectable medications, but too often we see someone reversing 10 years of their age in a span of months. Behind the scenes, celebrities often employ a variety of cosmetic procedures to preserve their youthful glow. So the first one that I am most familiar with is a hair transplant. So a lot of people have had them. I've had two. Stars like Wayne Rooney, Elon Musk have openly discussed their experiences. I know Chris Bumstead, someone in the fitness industry, along with many others, have gotten them recently. David Beckham, Steve Carell, countless others, they all got them. So a hair transplant involves transplanting hair follicles from areas of dense growth, usually like the back and sides of your head where you don't tend to lose hair, and they take them out, take the follicle, put it to the thinning parts of your head. So like I said, these hairs from the sides and back are not subject to hair loss, so you just take those, disperse them to the top. That's how it works. And of course, celebrities have access to the best surgeons money can buy, but they also use medications like finasteride to maintain any native hair they do have. So when they transplant this hair, the rest of the hair they do have left is not gone. So a hair transplant can get costly in the USA, costing anywhere up to $20K. So many people do opt for medical tourism, traveling to Turkey or Mexico for these procedures at a much reduced cost, typically anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. And on the flip side, there is also laser hair removal. Some of us have hair where we don't want it. I got it on my back, I trim it, I don't get laser, and so do celebrities. They are most definitely removing back hair, arm hair, armpit hair, you name it. There is quite a wide range of pricing here depending on the area and the number of sessions you get. So check out Groupon, you may be able to find a good deal. So for more drastic transformations, celebrities may opt for facelifts, which involves surgically tightening and lifting the skin to reduce sagging and wrinkles. You can honestly notice these by some scars that are usually present right in front of the ears. It's usually like right here where they kind of take the skin and pull it back to create that tighter look. Tom Brady is someone in the media who's been pointed out for having this done very recently. Stars like Jane Fonda, Sharon Osbourne have also openly discussed their experiences with these procedures, and it can really take off years off your appearance and provide pretty long-lasting results. These are honestly game changers. I'd say if there were two common ones, or I guess three, we'll go three, it is Botox, fillers, and facelifts that people are getting pretty commonly. And average cost for this might be anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000. For younger celebrities, there's a thing called PDO threads or a thread lift that are a less invasive procedure that use a dissolvable suture to tighten and lift your skin. These are also pretty common and becoming more popular lately, and it can be often performed in under 45 minutes without needing to go under a scalpel or anything like that. PDO thread lifts use a biodegradable polyester suture, and they're best suited for rejuvenating your skin, while some newer types of thread lifts are better at lifting sagging skin. So there's some different variations you could have there. Next, we have a blepharoplasty or blepharoplasty, basically eyelid surgery. This is a cosmetic procedure aimed at rejuvenating the appearance of the eyelids. So it's typically performed to address sagging or drooping eyelids, excess skin, fat deposits that could basically create puffiness or bags, along the eyes, generally usually below, sometimes above. And pretty much during this procedure, the surgeon carefully removes that excess skin and fat, tightens the underlying muscles, and may also adjust the position of the eyelids to create a more youthful and refreshed appearance. Kind of think of one of these maybe. You've probably seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So there's some celebrities like Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, they've reportedly done this procedure, and they are honestly pretty subtle. They just kind of make you look a little bit more well-rested, a little more refreshed. So this isn't too obvious to see like some of the other ones. The typical cost for this could be anywhere from $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, somewhere in there. So keep an eye out for those. I'm sure it could cost more, depending where you go. So next, you may notice some celebrities have a similar nose to other ones. Good old rhinoplasty, commonly referred to a nose job, is a surgical procedure aimed at altering the shape, size, or structure of the nose for both cosmetic and maybe some functional reasons too. So there is the cosmetic rhinoplasty, which is generally just for reshaping the nose. Some people got a little dorsal hump here that they don't like. Some people's nose twists, it's asymmetrical. They may have a big bulbous tip. They want a cute little button nose that seems to be popular these days. And of course, there is also functional rhinoplasty, which is more so for breathing difficulties caused by like structural abnormalities within the nose itself. So this procedure typically involves just reshaping the bone, the cartilage, the soft tissues in the nose. And I know there's like an open approach and a closed approach, and it also just depends on which surgeon you go to. So I can't really tell you about that. And honestly, noses really can transform people's looks. They are more common you think even with the general population. These typically could be anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000, $20,000. So noses are common. It's common to change it. So next we have breast augmentation. I honestly don't really need to explain this one. This one seems to be common. A lot of people know it. A lot of people see celebrities getting it. So typically they, insert different types of gel or silicone into the breasts. Can go different sizes, many cc's or whatever units that they use. So these can go anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000. Very, very common as well. And of course, while we are on the breasts, why don't we talk about the BBL, the good old Brazilian butt lift, cosmetic procedure designed to enhance the shape and contour of the buttocks by augmenting its size and improving its overall symmetry. So this one's sought after by individuals looking to create a more full, rounder buttock appearance. That feels so strange to say, often for aesthetic reasons or to enhance their body proportions. So basically what they do during this is they take fat from other areas of the body through liposuction, typically maybe love handles, belly, and they just deposit it into the abdomen, the flanks, the thighs, and basically just to add volume and shape. So this one, you could pretty much tell who has this. Oftentimes they just have huge behind and very skinny, thin legs, thin waist. Kind of doesn't look right. So some examples, Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, they've been rumored to undergo this. So use that as kind of like a guide. So honestly, fun fact for this one, the BBL is the most commonly searched cosmetic procedure in America, oddly enough. Depending on the extent of procedure, this can be anywhere from 5 to 20 grand. So another surgery that is more common than you'd expect is facial implants. Are facial implants? I don't know grammar, I'm a doctor. Cheekbone and jaw implants are cosmetic procedures aimed at enhancing the definition and structure of the cheeks and jawline for a more sculpted and harmonious facial appearance. So these procedures are commonly sought after by individuals looking to look for more of a more prominent and chiseled facial contour if they don't have the genes for it already. So during this procedure, they use custom shaped implants made of silicone or other biocompatible materials, and they're carefully inserted into the desired areas of the face through some very small incisions to create a more angular facial profile. So some examples, I think Matt Rife has gotten jaw implants, Angelina Jolie, Megan Fox definitely have undergone some cheekbone and jaw implants as well. And honestly, these are a bit more affordable too. probably around $3,000 to $5,000, somewhere around there. So we talked about the surgeries. Now I want to talk about some less invasive cosmetic procedures, and one of them is Botox. So common. Another go-to option for many celebrities, basically just looking to smooth out wrinkles and fine lines. Basically how this works, they take botulinum toxin, which is a toxin, if you ingest it, will paralyze you, but they learned that if you inject it, it'll relax your muscles, will relax those wrinkles, and they won't be there anymore. Well, at least for, a few months. So countless celebrities have gotten this. Kim Kardashian, Simon Cowell have openly admitted to it, but it doesn't end there. I would honestly argue that most people above the age of like 30 or 40 who don't have like forehead wrinkles when they do this, don't have lines when they smile, probably have gotten some Botox done. So be a little skeptical there. This one is very common, very easily accessible to the general population. Literally if you're in a big city, every corner there's a med spa that's like, oh, Botox, $12 a unit, something like that. So costs can vary though, typically anywhere from $300 to $2,000 per treatment every 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you need. So of course, another treatment that is pretty accessible that I've been seeing a lot more lately, just like, weird transformations on TikTok, are chemical peels. So chemical peels are another favorite among the Hollywood elite for achieving like smooth, radiant skin overall. This involves applying a chemical solution to the skin, which causes it to exfoliate and eventually peel off. Look up some pictures, it's pretty wild, and basically it just reveals fresh new skin underneath. But these can take a week or two to heal, which may not make it the most ideal for someone that has to be in public for their day-to-day job, gym, picking up kids from school, those kind of things. So celebrities like Jennifer Aniston, Gwyneth Paltrow have been known to do these chemical peels, and they can just kind of stay home, in their nice big 10,000 square foot mansion for 2 weeks, and no one will know. Rough pricing for this is in around $2,000 to $3,000 per procedure. I'm sure you could probably get it cheaper and more expensive depending on where you go. So, you do your own research there. Of course, next, we mentioned fillers. They're also known as dermal fillers or soft tissue fillers, and they're a non-surgical cosmetic procedure basically used to restore volume, smooth out wrinkles, and enhance facial contours. So these are commonly sought after to address signs of aging like fine lines, wrinkles, loss of facial volume as you get older, because skin does tend to get thicker because the subcutaneous fat layer shrinks. And basically you can use this to augment lips, cheeks, create a more youthful experience overall. So this procedure involves injecting a gel-like substance, usually made of hyaluronic acid or collagen, into specific areas of the face, basically just to create a more rejuvenated and lifted appearance, if that makes sense. Results for this are often pretty immediate and can last anywhere from several months up to over a year, depending on the type of filler used and your own metabolism. We got Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, who I keep repeating, Jennifer Lopez, have all openly discussed the use of fillers to enhance, lips, cheeks, facial features. I'm sure you've probably seen someone, walk around like this with their lips, probably got fillers. Pretty popular, minimal downtime, pretty easy to achieve a subtle yet noticeable improvements in facial appearance with relatively low risk overall too, compared to, the actual surgeries that people get. Each treatment can be anywhere from, a few hundred to, $2,000. So keep an eye out for those. So next are some newer treatments that we don't really hear about too much. The first is called platelet-rich fibrin therapy, which is a new regenerative procedure used to promote tissue healing and overall skin rejuvenation. So basically this is derived from the patient's own blood. It contains a concentrated mixture of platelets, growth factors, and other healing proteins that are used to stimulate tissue regeneration and collagen production. So basically what they do is they draw a small sample of the patient's blood, they put it in a centrifuge to separate the platelets and growth factors from the other blood components, they take away the stuff that they don't need, and they re-inject the stuff that is good, the platelets and the growth factors into the treatment areas, which promotes tissue repair, improves skin texture, overall skin quality, elasticity, things like that. Can you guess who's done this? Yeah, Kim Kardashian. Let me think who else. Can't think of anyone else off the top of my head, but if you Google it, I'm sure it's pretty common too. People really like this one because it's more of like a natural approach because you're using your own blood products instead of, injecting something else, something random. So it seems to be pretty common too. I'm sure this will be a lot more popular in the next few years. Oh, and for price, this one can be anywhere from, $500 to $3,000. Seems to be pretty standard pricing, for a lot of these procedures. Next, let's talk fractional radiofrequency skin resurfacing. It's another newer cosmetic procedure, basically similar to chemical peels and what I just talked about to improve skin texture, tone, and elasticity, while also reducing the appearance of wrinkles, scars, imperfections, things like that. It basically involves the use of a device that delivers RF energy to the skin in like a grid-like pattern, creating microscopic thermal zones known as microthermal treatment zones or MTZs. And these MTZs stimulate the body's natural healing response, promoting collagen and elastin production, which will lead to tightening and some skin rejuvenation. Like some of the previous treatments, this procedure is pretty minimally invasive and requires multiple sessions, usually spaced every few weeks for the best results overall. Again, Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Aniston have reportedly undergone these things. Do your research. I don't know them personally. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but I'm skeptical on it. These skin tightening treatments can go anywhere from, $1,000 to $4,000 per treatment. So will be pricey in the long run. So moving on to laser and light therapy. So laser treatments are also pretty popular among celebrities to improve their texture and tone of their skin. These treatments basically use focused beams of light to target specific skin concerns, whether it is sun damage, acne scars, uneven pigmentation. There's some celebrities like Chrissy Teigen, Jennifer Lopez that have credited laser treatments for the help of their skin, maintaining a nice youthful glow. And there's also red light therapy, which uses low-level red wavelength to stimulate collagen production and promote cell regeneration. Jessica Alba, Kourtney Kardashian, I think are some people that have done this one too. They praise red light for improving their skin texture and wrinkles. And these two that I actually just talked about are probably not the most effective out of everything, but they certainly can help, and they are relatively easily accessible too, just like Botox and fillers. Just go to any med spa on any random corner. So now for the factors that are truly more accessible to the average person, and of course they are cosmetic products. So while genetics certainly play a role, many stars do credit their youthful appearances to a carefully curated skincare regimen that includes a mix of tried and true products, along with some new random ones that us, normal folks don't have access to. So the first one, it is the obvious one, it is makeup. If a celebrity is making an appearance on a show or movie, I promise you they're wearing makeup. This makes it super easy and simple to conceal imperfections, enhance their positive facial features. So I am no makeup expert by any means. I know very little about that. So look up some beauty bloggers. I'm sure they have you covered on that one. But there is one product that is a heavy hitter, and it is the most researched and effective compound on this list for actual structural changes in your skin, and that is called tretinoin. So tretinoin is a potent derivative of vitamin A and has been long revered in the skincare world for its ability to stimulate collagen production and accelerate cell turnover. This is a prescription strength retinoid and is a favorite among celebrities like Chrissy Teigen, Kerry Washington, who credit it for minimizing fine lines, evening out skin tone, and even reducing acne. I use this one, very easily accessible. You just get like a prescription, pretty cheap overall. So this is the only one that has data that backs it up a whole lot. It is literally the only topical that is FDA approved for fine lines and wrinkles. This will absolutely get the job done. It's been part of my skincare routine for a while, although I still got wrinkles, sorry. So one of the other most important topicals is a moisturizer, which is a skincare staple that forms the foundation of any effective anti-aging routine. So basically, you wanna make sure the skin is hydrated, you wanna retain the natural moisture barrier. Moisturizer helps plump up fine lines, wrinkles, gives you a smoother, more even, youthful complexion and appearance. Moisturize your skin morning and night, super simple, low barrier to entry. You could find some very good, relatively cheap products. Just do it. So next, of course, we have sunscreen. Talk to any dermatologist about their most important thing their patients can use, and I swear you will hear sunscreen 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Sunscreen is perhaps the single most crucial anti-aging product, protecting the skin from harmful UV rays that can cause premature aging, skin damage. Regular use of sunscreen also prevents wrinkles, dark spots, other signs of sun-induced aging. So the data on the safety of the spray sunscreens or the ones that have ingredients that end in benzone are a little iffy on their safety data, so I prefer to use zinc-based sunscreens. Any other mineral-based sunscreen works too. So there are two more products that I want to highlight that I see coming up quite often, and that is hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. So hyaluronic acid is an ingredient designed to attract and retain moisture in the skin, resulting in like a more plumped, hydrated complexion. This is a naturally occurring substance and found in a lot of skincare products already, from serums to creams, all those things. I prefer to use the ingredients on its own, just at night. I know celebrities like Meghan Markle are fans of hyaluronic acid. Basically, it smooths your skin, gives you a nice, dewy, youthful kind of glow. Then we have niacinamide, also known as vitamin B3. This one has gained popularity in recent years, and it's said to help improve skin texture, reduce the appearance of pores, and even out your skin tone overall. I did some research, found Zendaya, Emma Stone incorporate niacinamide in their routines, and I've been testing this one out for the last 4 months. It does seem to work out, pretty decently, but I do need to do some more research on these ones because I feel like 4 months isn't, the longest time. So let's talk about some lifestyle factors. So celebrities often do maintain, their appearances through a holistic approach that does extend beyond, skincare and cosmetic procedures. Of course, these people have access to top-tier nutritionists and trainers like myself. allows them to optimize their diet and exercise routines for optimal health and longevity, vitality, all your favorite words here. So these people probably have personalized meal plans, tailored fitness regimens based on wherever they're traveling, tailored to their specific needs. Celebrities can definitely ensure they're nourishing their bodies with the right things, engaging in effective workouts to support their overall well-being and overall goals. But what is the best diet for youth, longevity, and all the things that we want? To sum it up pretty basically, eat real food. Typically, it'll be a high protein diet, which is crucial for the building blocks of muscle and the collagen in your hair and skin. There will be plenty of fruits and vegetables to supply essential vitamins and minerals, key for keeping all your body processes functioning properly. And I'm sure they avoid processed foods, foods high in sugar, fried foods, things like that. My skin quality and brain fog are always exponentially worse when I am eating a generally unhealthier diet, aka not real foods. But unless they are preparing for a role that requires a lot of added muscle mass, celebrities often eat less than you think they do. Caloric restriction and longevity are directly correlated. The less you eat in the long run, the more you're gonna live. Simple as that. Studies show that over and over again. Obviously, this is like up to a certain point, but you get the idea overall. This is a result of less inflammation and stress in the body because when you eat, it creates inflammation, free radicals, whatever thing like that. So you want to keep it down. As for exercise, pretty much a consistent weight training or cardio regimen will promote a lean figure and improve every single health marker. So typically for most people, and I'm sure celebrities, 2 to 6 resistance training sessions a week, whether it's lifting weights, Pilates, calisthenics, CrossFit, those will all be common. For cardio, 3 30-minute sessions a week will be a pretty good baseline for improved health parameters, but I'm sure many do a whole lot more just to maintain a similar look overall. Water intake also plays a crucial role for maintaining hydrated skin, overall health. Of course, being properly hydrated flushes out toxins, improves circulation, keeps your skin looking nice. Half your body weight in ounces of water per day will generally be a good guideline and definitely a good start. And of course, we can't forget quality sleep. Adequate rest allows the body to repair, regenerate cells, leading to, of course, a refreshed complexion, sharper cognitive function, no bags on your eyes. We don't want that. Of course, chronic stress can also accelerate the aging process by increasing inflammation, compromising the immune system, contributing to wrinkles, other signs of aging. I know, Oprah, Hugh Jackman, I know they've talked about the stress-reducing properties of meditation, yoga, mindfulness into their daily routines, so definitely some things worthwhile into looking into. So we cannot forget a few niche factors that you don't hear too much about. So, of course, there's Photoshop. Photoshop for photos, there's even Photoshop for videos now. I don't think I need to explain that one. The top celebrities also have great genetics. Most likely, it was probably a factor of them getting famous in the first place, but there are some other treatments worth mentioning. So one is blood infusions of younger people. I'm not kidding. This is not some conspiracy that I'm trying to promote, and Brian Johnson is a good example of this, and that is Brian with a Y. If you haven't seen him, he is a multi-millionaire who is devoted to reducing and reversing the process of aging. I think it was last year, he gave blood plasma to his father, who I think was in his 60s or 70s, and his father's cellular aging reduced by 25 years. He, Brian Johnson, who's 40-something, received plasma from his teenage son, and he had no benefits, but he's also on a $2 million a year aging protocol, so he probably wasn't the best candidate in the first place. And we're already doing something similar with feces, where fecal transplants from normal weighted individuals into overweight individuals, induces changes in the gut microbiome, and the overweight individual becomes a whole lot more like the normal weight individual just by changing, some of the processes and cells and, microbiome in their gut. There is much, much more to be uncovered, and I'm curious to see how gene therapy, stem cell treatments evolve with procedures like this. So keep an eye out for those. I'm sure there will be a whole lot more technology and type things in the next decade. So let's summarize. There are a lot of things that can be done. A lot of them cost thousands of dollars. Yeah, we don't have $100,000 a year to throw on, cosmetic procedures or treatments and things like that. So the things that I think are sustainable for most people. So first, eat healthy and exercise. This should be the baseline for literally everything you want to do, even if it isn't longevity and looking young. Minimize stress, get enough sleep, drink water, get on a decent skincare routine. At a minimum, use moisturizer and sunscreen. If you can't afford it, many of these surgeries and procedures can enhance your look, but sometimes they won't. A lot of your looks rely on your own perception, how you feel about yourself. Confidence comes from within, and you are perfect just the way you are. Take care of your inside, and the outside will reflect that. You don't need these things. Be true to who you are. A lot of beauty does come from the inside. Don't worry about how things look on the outside. This is just what celebrities do, and I'm trying to educate you here. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next video.